Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Jay Leveroni and I am the staff scientist for the Sarasota Bay Estuary Program. I'm here today to talk about and demonstrate a very important volunteer-based monitoring program that the program has instituted several years ago called Eyes on Seagrass. Some of you have already participated in this program and we thank you and for your continued support and participation. Some of you may be doing this for the very first time. So we have developed this video for you to review and look at and learn about the program. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me either by phone or by email. So what is Eyes on Seagrass and why is it important and why are we asking you for your participation? The Sarasota Bay Estuary Program is involved in keeping an eye on the health and quality of both the water and the resources in Sarasota Bay. What we have done is develop a report card to give us grades on various parameters that we associate with the health of the bay. For instance, we look at the water column and look at how much phytoplankton is in the water and what the nutrient content is in the water. Two other parameters that we look at are the seagrass meadows, and recently we have incorporated macroalgae, which is another biological component of the bottom of the bay, to help us determine the relative health of Sarasota Bay. And this is where you come in. This is a very fun, easy learning experience to collect vital information on the quality and quantity of our seagrasses, as well as the quality and the quantity of the macroalgae that reside in the bay, typically in the seagrass meadows. So what I plan to do today is to demonstrate how we go about collecting this information, learning some safety protocols, how to record the data, how to submit the data, and how this data will be used in our report cards. So for now, I just want to thank you for your interest and participation. This is a citizen-based program. We need your support. We need you to let us know what's going on when we can't be out there on the water. So once again, thank you for your participation and stay tuned for the demonstration. So here we are with our sampling gear for the program, and I will demonstrate that to you shortly. I'm also here with Megan Berry, our public outreach coordinator, and she's going to help me demonstrate what we do in the field. Keep in mind that you will receive all this equipment plus data sheets, instructions, identification guides, and everything you will need to conduct this work efficiently and accurately. So without further ado, the equipment that we have here is always a dive flag because you will be in the water. We have a measuring pole to measure water depth. We have a 1/4 meter quadrat, which is what you will survey to collect your information. We have a fish scale and a bag because you will be collecting algae if it is present at the 20-meter mark on your transect, and finally the transect line. So Ms. Berry and I are going to pull out a portion of this 50-meter transect, which you will be snorkeling along, surveying at intervals to collect information. At each end of this transect is a weight and a float to mark the edges of the transect. That's good right there. And at every 10-meter interval, there will be a little twist tie here to indicate a 10-meter interval at which you will collect some information. And then we will take it out just a little bit further. We're not going to take it all the way out to 50 meters. So as you can see, if you have proper snorkeling gear, you should be fine, but 50-meter transect is quite a way to swim. So you will be given a couple of stations to sample. You will receive a map with the center location of that polygon that you're going to be sampling in the GPS coordinates. Once you arrive at that point, then you will drive your boat towards shore to find seagrasses, and depending on the tide, you would like to work in about 3 feet of water, which is the optimal depth for doing seagrass surveys. So, all goes well, you find your spot, you've laid out your transect, you begin with your quadrat at the 0 mark over here. Now, for viewing purposes, we're going to demonstrate here at the middle, at the 10-meter mark, where you see right here. You will lay your quadrat down along the line, either side. This pole measures water depth. You'll do it at each location in 1/10 of a meter increments, which is fine. Then you will simply observe what's in the quadrat. Now we're observing 2 main components of the bay bottom: seagrasses and macroalgae. Grasses are grasses. The first thing you do is you look at the overall coverage within that quadrat of seagrass. As in this case, if it is completely covered with seagrass, no bare spots, then you have 100% seagrass coverage. If there's half of it bare, then you would say 50% seagrass coverage. Now, after you've done that, you will look at what species of seagrass are there. And as most of you probably know, there's 3 types that we're looking at: manatee grass, turtle grass, and shoal grass. And if it is all turtle grass, then you will say 100% of the seagrass is turtle grass. If 10% of it is shoal grass or haliduli, you would say 90% thalassia, 10% haliduli. As long as the percent composition adds up to 100%, you're doing right. Next, we're going to be looking for macroalgae. Is there any macroalgae present? If there is, what is the relative abundance of that macroalgae similar to the seagrass within that quadrat? If we use these leaves that are currently laying in this quadrat as an example of what the macroalgae would be, then looking at this, I would see some leaves here, 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 here. I would say, again, these are your best observations. We're not taking exact measurements. These are qualitative observations, but I would say in this case, 5% macroalgae cover. There are a few other things that I don't have the data sheet with me today, but they're things like wave conditions, cloud conditions, any other observations. This is important information, but I want you to have fun. I want you to explore the bay. I want you to, your eyes on seagrass, literally. We want you to just make as many observations as you can to the conditions that are there. At the 20-meter mark, so you're going to be sampling at 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. At the 20-meter mark, if there is macroalgae there, then we have a sampling bag here, a zippered mesh bag that you will collect. Would you like to do that? We'll collect the macroalgae in the quadrat. Now, so what we want to do is get rid of the excess water. I think that can be accomplished if you have a lot here, just by squeezing it and shaking it like this to get the excess water out. Then we have a fish scale here. It's not very sensitive, but it's good enough for our purposes, where you can take your bag, stick it on any way you can, stick it on the scale and measure the weight, the wet weight of that macroalgae. After you've done that and recorded it, you can take the algae, return it to the bay, and move on to the 30-meter mark. We anticipate that you will be doing 1 or 2 of these stations in your participation in the program. It should take you half a day to do it. You could usually do it in the morning without having to rush. We would like you to take your time, be safe, be water aware, so that it really is a matter of enjoying it. You don't have to rush. You should be done in plenty of time. And when you are done, you will notify me. We will coordinate to pick up the gear and the data. And that's, in a nutshell, what we do for this program. So thank you for watching and for your participation in this monitoring program. and for your continued support of the Sarasota Bay Estuary Program.